June 30th, 2023, Friday. We're halfway through the year, and the Supreme Court just ended its session. Um, and I'm like so many Americans of color, black is my color, American of African descent, ancestors having been slaves, enslaved. No one chooses to be a slave. So let's correct that, right? And today in my yoga class, we go through this, and what I love about yoga is it gives you a chance to let go. It is truly the only thing that I do just for me. When I go to yoga, I don't take Lisa, I don't take my kids, I don't take, I try to let go and just be on my mat. And during Shavasana, Shavasana is when the practice is over and you're just laying in what's called corpse pose. In other words, it signifies the end of your practice. And then when you roll to your side in a fetal position, it's kind of the rebirth of your practice off the mat, right? So anyway, there's a lot of symbolism in it, which I love. I digress because I today it just hit me. It's like, okay, the Supreme Court said you can't use race to keep people or to choose people to come to college. However, they didn't strike out racism, right? They said that because I'm a Christian and you may be gay, that I can't bake a cake for you. I feel like we're moving backwards in this country. And again, I hope you will respond to this, not in anger. However, just think about it and then post your feelings. I would like to hear what you say. I'm not going to call anybody ugly names because they don't agree with me. I'm just saying we need to have a discourse. We need to speak about this. We need to talk about this, get this out in the open. If God makes no mistakes, being gay, lesbian, transgender is not a mistake. Come on, I'm a Christian. I believe in God. I know there's a heaven. Whether it's up there, in here, I know there's something bigger than me, something bigger than we. And I do believe that entity, whatever form she may take, is a loving entity. So that entity loves me with all my quote unquote flaws. So the court says, because you don't agree with me, you don't have to bake a cake. So my children's mom has blonde hair and blue eyes. So because your religious belief says that, hey, or whatever it is you believe, you may believe in the great turtle, as one of my wonderful teachers, Mr. Carter, would say his religion was a great turtle because he'd seen so much death on the battlefields that it would be hard for him to believe in any entity that would waste human life like that. Mr. Carter was a teacher at J.P. Carr Middle School, J.P. Carr Junior High when I was there. Before that, it was J.P. Carr, it was the all-black school. Anyway, there's so much on my mind today, and I'm just thinking, what's wrong with us as a country when what's it to say that, hey, because Lisa is Caucasian and I'm African American, you don't want to serve us, and it's okay because, quote unquote, you don't believe it's right. I think it's time for us to think about maybe impeaching the Supreme Court. I know they are elected for life. However, when they do things like take luxury rides for hundreds of thousands of dollars, yes, Mr. Thomas, and they don't have an ethics code, who calls them out? Are they above the law? Right? I mean, everybody's giving President Biden's a rough time for whatever happened with his son, and even Trump, right? I mean, he's having to answer to the laws. So why don't these Supreme Court justices? There should be an ethics clause. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place right now. However, I want to come from love. I want us to be about love, not about hate, not about divisiveness. You know, when and if you get a chance to be in Atlanta, visit the Center for Civil and Human Rights in Atlanta. Sit down at that counter where the black students from North Carolina sat down and was beaten because those white people didn't want to serve them. They didn't believe in serving black people in their drugstore at their counter. So is that legal now? When I go sit down because I'm black, you don't want to serve me? This is so bass backwards, y'all. This is America. In Florida, Chinese Americans, and I hope I don't get this wrong, are being barred from buying land in Florida. Come on. So are we going back to circa 1940s when Asian Americans were put into camps? You know, what happened in the early 1800s when this country wanted so many Asian, Chinese, Japanese immigrants to come here and build the railroad systems? Have we forgotten about this stuff? This is history. The way people of color, black, Hispanic, Latinx, whatever the correct term, because I don't want to offend anyone. I just want for us to think about this. America was built on the backs of free labor. My people built the South. People of Chinese and Asian descent built the railroads out west. I mean, think about it. So, and we are afraid of giving people of color, black, brown, whatever, a hand up, a leg up, a reach back and pull someone up. What is wrong? Please help me understand, y'all. Please help me understand. I'm wondering if my Caucasian, my white friends that I grew up with in Georgia, you know, and we played football, baseball, basketball. We sweat, we cried, we won and we lost together, and we told each other how much we loved each other. Do you love me now because I'm calling this out? Will you stand with me and say, let's correct these wrongs that have been done to people of color in this country? That the wrongs that have been done to women in this country? America, we're better than this. We're better than this. We are the land of plenty. I don't need to hoard it. We don't need to hoard it. Let's help each other. If we can help countries around the world, whether it's with famine, war, whatever it is, we can help all around the world. We're spending hundreds of millions of dollars a day on wars around the world, or getting ready for wars. However, the Supreme Court says we cannot spend $20 billion to help poor, middle class people wipe out some of their college debt. Think about that. What we spend one day on wars around the world, killing people, we could wipe out the debt for every person who has college school loans. My personal motto is spread love. I hope we start spreading love. I'm out. You know, I said I was out. However, I want to share one last thought. Today after yoga, I was talking with this young man, Ryan. Ryan is battling cancer. Beautiful human being. I love seeing him at yoga, and he always has a smile, and he lives in his van, and we have become his surrogate family. We, as in the dudes in a yoga class, you know, because it's a melting pot in we practice yoga in Berkeley at Core Power. Keep Ryan in your prayers, in your thoughts, in your meditation. Whatever you believe in, put Ryan there, because he's one of these Americans that deserves a hand up. So I was sharing with Ryan my disappointment in the Supreme Court by the things that they've done by striking down uh, affirmative action. And I said, Ryan, golf is a great example of what affirmative action is, because we have handicaps in golf. Tiger Woods at his best was probably a plus 14. In other words, par is 70. Tiger shoots under par, maybe 14 under par a lot of times, right? So to make it the playing field level, there's a handicapping system in golf. Me, at my best, I was at 8 handicap. In other words, Tiger would have to give me, or let's just say, Tiger would have to give me 14. Wow, how would that work? I'm not doing the math well, but the handicap system kind of balanced it out so that on certain holes, Tiger would have to give me 1 stroke or 2 to make it even. That's what affirmative action is. It's giving people who didn't have that leg up by coming from a wealthy family or the right zip code, it gives them a chance, it gives us a chance to compete. And that's all we need, is a chance to compete, because every brain has a capacity to learn. It's what we put in it. So I hope I made my point there. There's nothing wrong with helping people. There's nothing wrong with helping people of color who didn't have, historically, we didn't have that foundation. Me, myself, personally, I think I shared with you, I didn't learn to read the English language till I was 26 years old. Wow. Think about if I'd learned to read earlier. Affirmative action, right? The hiring managers mostly are white males in this country. And let's face it, people hire who they look like, right? So come on, we need diversity to make this country better. So whatever we can do to give everyone a leg up, let's do it. Come on, Supreme Court, get better, do better, be better. Come on, Congress, do better, be better. You are better. Stop fighting with people, whether you're a Democrat fighting with Republican, Republican fighting with Democrat, independent. Stop fighting. Start doing what's best for that